In the continuation of chapter 5 magnetism and matter, we start this part of the chapter which is Earth's magnetism. So in the earlier part we have discussed the bar magnet and its magnetic field and the related properties. In the last class we also derived the expression that magnetic field at an axial point of a current carrying solenoid is equal to the magnetic field at an axial point of a bar magnet. So which proved that current carrying solenoid is equivalent to a bar magnet. So students, we now start the last part of the chapter, that is Earth's magnetism. And you know, Earth behaves like a huge magnet. The proof of this result comes from if a bar magnet is freely suspended, then it always remains in north-south direction. So freely suspended bar magnet proves that Earth has some quantity of magnetic field, some amount of magnetic field is possessed by the Earth. So in order to discuss the Earth magnetism, or we can say Earth behaves like a magnet, there are three elements which are required to describe the magnetic field of Earth. So students, I have written here, Earth behaves like a huge magnet. The magnetic field at surface of Earth is of the order of 10 raised power minus 5 Tesla. SI unit of magnetic field is Tesla. So the magnitude of Earth magnetic field is 10 raised power minus 5 Tesla or 0.1 Gauss. So in order to understand the magnetic field of Earth, we have to discuss this diagram of Earth magnetism. So this diagram is related to the magnetism of Earth. So this Earth is a perfect sphere. We have drawn one sphere. These are the vertical axis. These are the north-south axis, geographical north, geographical south, and these are east-west. So there are two planes we can understand. There is one plane which is passing through, this is vertical plane passing through just geographical axis is called geographic meridian, and there is another perpendicular plane passing through magnetic axis is called magnetic meridian. So there are two axes, geographical axis and magnetic axis. So magnetic axis is basically the line along which the bar magnet of Earth is assumed to lie. Exactly, there is no bar magnet inside the Earth. If you see, if you try to find where is the bar magnet of Earth, you cannot find. We imagine that along a line, that line is called magnetic axis, there is a bar magnet of Earth. So the pole which is towards the geographical north, that is called the magnetic north of bar magnet. Okay, and in towards the magnetic north, Earth, this is the magnetic north direction, okay, of Earth's magnetic field, and towards the geographical south there is magnetic south, but on magnetic north there is a south pole of Earth bar magnet, and towards the magnetic south there is north pole, because unlike poles attract each other. Okay, so these are the two vertical axes. Since now the important thing is this geographical axis and magnetic axis do not overlap each other, do not coincide each other. So there is an angle between them, 11.3 degree towards west. There is an angle between geographical direction and magnetic direction, geographic axis and magnetic axis. Okay, so there will be angle between these two planes. So which two planes? There is one vertical plane passing through magnetic axis, magnetic meridian, and there is vertical plane passing through geographical, this is geographic meridian because this is geographic axis. So vertical plane passing through geographic axis is geographic meridian. This is magnetic axis, magnetic north, magnetic south. So vertical plane passing through this is magnetic meridian. So a corresponding axes are geographic equator and magnetic equator. Okay, now this also I have written that the value of magnetic field which I told you 10 raised power minus 5 Tesla is an average value, but this is having some variations. The strength of Earth's magnetic field is varying from place to place on the Earth's surface. Now let me describe this Earth magnetism. So north pole of a freely suspended magnet points approximately towards geographical north, NG. NG means geographical north. Therefore this is called north magnetic pole, NM, and similarly delta M is called south Similarly, this is SM is called south magnetic pole. The great circle perpendicular to geographical axis is called geographic equator, and that circle which is perpendicular to magnetic axis is called magnetic equator. So the vertical plane passing through geographic north and south pole is called geographic meridian, and vertical plane passing through magnetic axis of freely suspended magnet is called magnetic meridian. Now there are three important physical quantity, three important elements. Those are called magnetic elements of Earth. They are used to describe the Earth's magnetic field. So these are the components which describe the magnetic field of Earth completely. Now there are three components, students. We are going to discuss the three components of Earth's magnetic field. The first component, this diagram I have drawn, there are two planes I have drawn. So you can see this diagram. There is one plane A, B, C, D, and there is another plane A, B dash, C dash, D. So there is an angle between them. इस तरह से है जैसे these are the two sheets. So there will be angle between them. So they are inclined with each other at an angle. Okay. So there is an angle. Since I told you there is an angle between geographic axis and magnetic axis, therefore there is an angle between geographic meridian and magnetic meridian. That angle is theta. That is called magnetic declination. Okay. So this is the angle between geographic meridian and magnetic meridian. It is theta. Okay. And next is angle of dip. This is important. Angle of dip is important. Question is asked in the exam from this part, angle of dip. This is the angle which Earth's magnetic field makes with the horizontal. Total Earth's magnetic field makes with the horizontal direction. Its symbol is delta. So in the diagram, there are two angles I have shown. One is theta. Theta is magnetic. This angle theta is angle between these two planes A, B, C, D, and A dash B, A, B dash, C dash, D. And this in my, I told you this A, B, C, D is a magnetic meridian. So Earth's total magnetic field will lie in this plane. Suppose this B is the Earth total magnetic field, and this is horizontal component of Earth magnetic field, perpendicularly vertical. Okay, so the angle which total magnetic field of Earth makes with the horizontal direction is called delta. This is known as angle of dip. So I can resolve my B along horizontal as well as vertical. So BH is equal to B cos delta, and BV is equal to B sin delta. BH is equal to B cos delta, BH is equal to B cos delta, and BV is equal to B sin delta. So using these relations we can write equation BH is equal to B cos delta, BV B sin delta. If we square and add them, we get B is equal to under root BH square plus BV square. Tan delta is equal to BV upon BH. So what happens at equator? At equator delta is equal to 0. So BH is equal to B and BV is equal to 0. And at poles delta is 90 degrees. So BH is equal to 0. B is equal to BV. Okay, now the next component is, these are the special cases which are generally asked in 1 mark in the exam in conceptual. Now the third part is horizontal component of Earth magnetic field. This is very simple. This is the strength of magnetic field in horizontal direction, BH. Okay, so now that some points are discussed here, some important points. These are the points. The one is in a vertical plane at an angle theta with magnetic meridian. Suppose there is another vertical plane, okay, and there is one vertical plane in which there is Earth total magnetic field, B is there, BH is there, BV. If we consider another vertical plane that is making an angle theta with this magnetic meridian, so vertical component will remain the same and horizontal direction will have magnetic field BH dash is equal to BH cos theta. So there is another angle of dip which is called the observed angle of dip in vertical plane. So we can write apparent angle of dip tan delta dash is equal to BV dash upon BH dash. So vertical component will not change because the new plane is also vertical. So BV upon BH cos theta. So tan delta upon cos theta. Delta is the true value of angle of dip and delta dash is the apparent value of angle of dip. For a vertical plane other than magnetic meridian, theta is greater than 0 degree, so cos theta less than 1, so delta dash less than, so angle of dip decreases. So in some other vertical plane, there is one vertical plane, magnetic meridian. So apart from it, if there is another vertical plane which is making an angle theta, okay, with this magnetic meridian. So in that vertical plane, angle of dip decreases. This is important information. So if theta is 90 degree, then tell delta dash infinity, so delta dash 90 degree. So in a plane perpendicular to magnetic meridian, needle will stand vertical. So generally this is question asked in 1 mark. So if a magnetic needle is free to stand, in what direction, in which orientation it will stand? If it is placed perpendicular to the magnetic meridian, it will stand vertical. Okay, so one question is also I have discussed here. If delta 1 delta 2 are the two apparent angles of dip observed in two vertical planes at right angles to each other, then prove that true angle of dip delta is given by cot square delta is equal to cot square delta 1 plus cot square delta 2. So we can write these apparent angle of dip in terms of that formula which we have derived, tan delta is equal to bv upon bh. So in one vertical plane, tan delta 1 is equal to bv upon bh1. In second vertical plane, tan delta 2 bv upon bh2. We know this relation bh square is equal to bh1 square, plus because these two are perpendicular and their resultant will also give the value r is equal to under root a square plus b square. So we can derive this equation cot using the mathematics, or after simplifying, cot square delta is equal to cot square delta 1 plus cot square delta 2. So the next topic we will continue in the next class. Okay, thank you and thank you so much.